This video was adapted from an article written by Stephen Luna on Mashed.com. When grilling season rolls around, it's important to have the right hamburger buns on hand to cradle your most creative burger. To find out which ones are best, I visited my neighborhood grocers and picked up 13 varieties from both store labels and national brands. I didn't expect a well-known national name brand like Oroweat to end up at the bottom, but that's one of the most revealing aspects of trying a bunch of brands side by side. Sometimes your preconceived notions of what constitutes quality are challenged, and you discover that a producer you have always considered to be top-notch ends up being a bottom ranker. Oroweat adds potato flakes to its properly named potato buns, but comes up with bread that has a slightly off undertaste. The only suspect item on the list of ingredients that I could find that might contribute to this is stevia leaf sweetener, which doesn't replace sugar but adds to the overall sweetener content. It also brings down a highly priced bag of burger buns to the point where I would rather do without than risk the disappointment of my hungry crowd. Wonder has established its name as something of an honorific in the grocery space, thanks to simple yet satisfying bagged bread selections that have been enjoyed for generations. So it's not unreasonable to anticipate the same quality in a hamburger bun that you've come to know and love in sliced bread.
We don't have no hamburger buns. All we have is Wonder Bread.
But maybe there's a limit to what shoppers should expect from a food producer, even one with such a long-lasting reputation. These extra soft buns are generously sized for sure, but all it takes is a bite to recognize the strange tang of leavening in the recipe. It's a bitter layer that may be readily disguised once you have a burger and pickles sitting between the two halves. When you're tasting them side by side with a bunch of far superior buns, though, wonder comes across as less than wonderful. Kroger introduced base-level store label Smart Way as a super bargain variety of staple shopping items at unquestionably bank-saving prices, though the quality isn't always up to par. For an item as straightforward as a hamburger bun, I would have thought that there was little that could be done to detract from taste, texture, or enjoyment. These buns are so ordinary they practically taste stale. Not that they are, based on the best buy date on the bag, but there's so little to endorse them other than the usual ingredients and a host of add-ins to make the dough tender and deterioration resistant. They're appropriately stocked on the bottom shelf of the hamburger bun section, and I would definitely put them as a lower tier option, to be purchased only if all the other buns are gone. Albertsons comes running into the hamburger bun fray with a simple bag of unquestionably workable bread to get your prepared patties up off the plate in tasty fashion. Signature Select is certainly a hamburger bun, and that's all that can really be said about it. There's nothing at all to set it apart from the pack, and with its slightly floury surface, it comes off as a bit dry. This is what you pick up when you just need buns on the table and aren't picky about impressing guests, or your family for that matter. Usually this store brand comes up with some seriously grand products, items that challenge the bigger labels and offer satisfying replacements for your favorite staples. This time though, Signature Select is one selection that can be counted out for your cookout needs. The name is no lie. Freshness is truly guaranteed with these buns. They were the first of my samplings and they were a tasty morsel indeed. The texture is slightly denser than the other buns, but from the moment I opened the bag, I knew there was something special waiting within. Much better than the buns you'd find on fast food chain burgers. And then I went back for a second sample a few days later and found the whole bag starting to harden. This is a fantastic sign for the limited preservatives found in the recipe, but a terrible omen for anyone who fails to use their stash all in one go. Once the clip is removed, the clock is ticking. So even if these hamburger buns provide a first-rate experience, it means nothing if you can't depend on them to be fresh, at least through the weekend. It's not just the hot dog angle that Ballpark takes when the summer dining season shows up. The well-known Frankfurter producer pairs up its hot dog buns with an 8-pack of hamburger buns to provide the right kind of variety for all of your barbecue needs. Even if you're just heating up pre-formed patties in the microwave, Ballpark wants to make sure you have buns to hold all the classic condiments and mouth-watering toppings possible. I have to admit the bright graphics on the bag are a real dazzler when the other bags have limited themselves to logos and names. But when it comes to enjoyability, these buns hit the ball straight down the middle, neither knocking it out of the park nor striking out entirely. The label says they are the official hamburger bun of the Little League, which may explain the relatively characterless flavor that takes on the task of feeding hundreds of little palates around the US. Could you do better than this? Absolutely. but you could do a whole lot worse too. Kroger's top-of-the-line house label has its own hamburger bun offering that's not too shabby at all. As a premium offering, Private Selection may provide the prettiest bun in the bunch. The tops are more than single split, they form sort of a flower petal shape, and they're generously sized too, which makes them very presentation-oriented for your show occasions. It's a strange consideration to make when shopping for hamburger buns, but once you've seen the code behind the barbecue matrix, there's no going back. As for the flavor, it's nothing extravagant. Average tasting bread without high fructose corn syrup. It won't intrude on your premium burger meat, but instead will stay in the background. These would make good buns for a smaller occasion with a pickier crowd. But priced as they are, I might not consider them a go-to bun for general use. Of course, Walmart's Great Value collection is going to have a hamburger bun to toss into the fray. Though not every offering in the Great Value catalog is a winner, something as simple as a bread product should be a slam dunk. And if you can grab them at lower than low prices, there's no question that you should. But will you be getting something worth paying even bargain prices for? This time, it's a yes. Great Value buns turn out to be pretty good for the price point. And since they're not aspiring to be anything gourmet, they're a darn sight better than some of the other store brands. The bread is perfectly moderately flavored, meaning there's nothing untoward to get in the way of enjoying your burger or turning it into sandwiches for a picnic instead. If I were on a tight budget, I'd go with Great Value. I have to admit the burger buns from Marketside cut a more stylish figure on the shelf than the other buns do. They come with a simple sticker rather than a flashy graphic and aligned in a single tidy row in the cellophane wrapper, giving them the air of a high-quality bakery creation rather than a big box product. Their shape and color also announce that you should expect something special when you break them open. I was leery about whether such perceived poshness could hold up once the bag was opened, and the taste testing began. Would this selection be another style over substance situation? The distinctive aroma of croissant bursts out of the bag when you tear it open. You can tell by looking at the custardy yellow-white color that eggs are used in the French recipe. To be embarrassingly honest, this is the type of hamburger bun I would eat without the patty, just tearing into it like a piece of bread or toasting it and adding peanut butter as a breakfast dish. There's no way you'd expect anything other than a wholesome experience from a hamburger bun from Nature's Own. The company name itself suggests products that stick to the essentials while keeping the extras to a minimum. While it's great when a food producer takes a mindful path like this, it sometimes makes the enjoyability suffer. Not so with Nature's Own. With a sweet split top and a darker top than most of the other brands, these patty holders certainly present a more stylish take on a classic burger bun. The flavor is slightly buttery, and the interior is gold and yellow, likely from the real butter used in the recipe. There's a toasty taste in the mix too, even when you haven't toasted them, which gives these buns a notable lift. Nature's Own has definitely come up with a top 5 burger bun.
That's high praise!
Aunt Hattie's is a regular player in the hamburger bun race, standing shoulder to shoulder with other brands while never shoving its way into the limelight. If you're lucky enough to find them in the mix, they're a bag worth purchasing, especially if you happen to like premium bread products. To everyone else, it may just be a way to keep your burger from messing up your hands, but to a cookout connoisseur, a luxe hamburger bun like Aunt Hattie's is a non-negotiable part of the deal. These buns cleverly utilize potato flakes to give a rich texture to an otherwise ordinary hamburger bread. The result is soft and doughy without being crumbly or falling apart, with a flavor that is slightly buttery and marvelously mellow. I would readily recommend them to anyone looking for a burger bun that provides higher than expected quality. I know Pepperidge Farm for the fantastic selection of premium cookies it offers, but I was unaware of its hamburger bun game until now. Knowing the treats in the cookie aisle from this company are more highly priced than other brands, I assume the bread quality would be a match for Pepperidge Farm's cookies and all the other classic bakes bearing its old-fashioned farm logo. I like to live dangerously with my grocery choices.
I also like to live dangerously.
Sometimes a product lives up so well to your expectations that you discover a new favorite. These soft white burger buns certainly live up to the description, being incredibly tender and delightfully yeasty. There's no high fructose corn syrup or artificial colors or flavors, which gives these bakery beauties a wholesome, homemade taste. They are a bit more expensive than some of the other brands, so I'd spring for them when I have high-level burgers to serve, rather than just keeping them on hand for weeknight dinner. Sara Lee is one of the most trusted names in the grocery business, no matter what product happens to bear its logo. The company's Artesano bread line aims to elevate the concept of the basic hamburger bun to the heights of pre-baked baked goodness, taking a cue from King's Hawaiian to create an island-themed take on the usual burger bun that turns out to be a cookout lover's paradise. These rolls promise a sweeter than usual burger experience, and oh man, do they ever attain that goal. I searched the ingredients list for something distinctive that would make them taste as sweet and fluffy as they do. All I could find was a bit of pea protein and a grain vinegar. Everything else seems to be standard for the burger bun formula. Whatever magical thing the Sara Lee Bakery does to make these buns top-notch absolutely makes them worth the price. They're a perfect addition to your ground beef patty or alternative burgers, but you could just eat them plain if you get the urge. I'm not too shy to say that rather than just trying a sample, I didn't stop until I had eaten the whole thing.